Yes, people, it's Keisha and Prince. Today we're going to talk about how to become more creative. I want to give you 5 quick and easy steps for you to be able to apply in your game today. Obviously, for me personally, the creative side of the game is what I loved, what I grew up watching. Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Kaká, CR7, obviously young CR7, Thierry, the list goes on, Robinho, Neymar, the list can go on. I can name so much more players that were so creative, and I will struggle right now to name at least 10 players that was creative like those in those times. And this is where, again, it goes down a lot to the culture. It goes a lot down to the coaching style of a lot of European teams, hence why Pele said, look at Brazil right now. He said that Brazilians who are leaving early to go to Europe, they will lose what they grew up in with the Gengar style of play. I'm going to go straight into the video. We're going to talk about the first thing that you must be able to do, which is number 1 is embrace the fundamentals. You have to be able to embrace the fundamentals and don't be afraid to break them. So what I mean by that, number 1 is master the basics. So before you can become creative, you need to have a solid foundation. Let's just put it there. All right. The foundation has to be built upon your dribbling, control, passing, shooting, dribbling, ball control with the feet. This is your toolbox. So being able to juggle the ball, be able to dribble in and out of the cones, all that stuff, mastery at high pace, slow pace, ball mastery, soul rolls, drags, all that stuff is very important. Mastering the basics. Again, the next one is playing with purpose. So you have to then be able to understand that every move you do should be able to do 3 things: unlock defensive, create space, or set up a teammate. Simple. Either create space for yourself for a shot, or defense to unlock them, or to be able to set up a teammate. And then after that is you're gonna have to be willing to don't be afraid to take risks. Okay, so the most creative moves are those that seem risky, and you gotta be able to accept that. And I think a lot of you players who want to be creative are not able to accept the fact that potentially this may not pay off or work out if I do it. You understand me? So then this goes to the second level, which is now developing your inner playmaker ability. So how do you develop the inner playmaker ability? Number 1, you got to learn how to read the game by watching film and anticipating where space will open up and where your teammates are likely to move. Okay, so a good flair or creative player, number 1, has a great player mind mapping ability. He knows where everybody is around him. If you watch the likes of Ronaldinho and Neymar, they use a lot, and Vinicius as well at times, they use a lot of their peripheral vision to be able to get by people. So that goes to my next one, which is being decisive, making quick decisions, even when the pressure's on. Don't hesitate, or else you miss the chance. You got to be very good. You got to have what Arsene Wenger said, you got to have a flexible mind. Mental flexibility, what is that? It's the ability to recognize green and red lights very quickly. Can you recognize when it's red to when it's going green, or when it goes red straight to green, or green straight to red? You have to be able to have a flexible mind, and that leads to you being able to think outside the box. So again, don't be afraid to go against the flow. So there's times when I'm watching Arsenal, for example, and the ball gets played out to the winger, and I know if the fullback blocks off that line for him, or not blocks it off entirely, but shows, that he's there, I know the ball's gonna go back to be recycled. I'm waiting for the time where I want to see a flair player winger's gonna stand them up and say, 1v1. And that's why I like Diaz. Diaz does that a lot for Liverpool. He can stand man up. Mahrez, when he was here, and even when he was playing for City, I think that he was still in shackles, not like how he was at Leicester. And so thinking outside the box and going against the run of play is very important. For example, trying a back heel pass, surprise and run, or dribble that no one expects. That's why Yannick Bolasie and Zaha, when they were both playing for Palace, was probably the best duo I saw on the wing. When they was in the Championship and when they came into the Premier League, I mean, it was exciting to see them at Selhurst Park. You had to be there to witness that. Then the next one is also, third one, is practicing with purpose. So this goes down with understanding how to do, you need to spend time doing solo dribbles, focusing on agility, speed and control. All right, that gives you the confidence to take on defenders. Okay, and also learning from that is applying it to small-sided games. So if you can attend a goal session or even go and playing in the street on the cages, you will learn how to develop that creativity. Because guess what? When you go and play in the cages, ain't nobody expecting you to play possession football. It's attack, attack, attack. Obviously, you got to play 1-2 passes to relax, but you're expected to unlock defenses, and that's why I believe street football is something that I think I saw Ajax or the Dutch team. I think the youth, they added something. I'll put a picture, but I saw them add something where they got to learn how to do street skills, because street football is where you start developing a natural creativity, because the environment is for that. If I see anybody coming to play street football and you're looking to play Spain type of possession football 2014 when they were just not going forward, everyone's going home. You understand? Everyone's going home. And then the last one, to say the least, is study the masters. So watch the best, analyze the movement, the passes, the tricks, plays like Ronaldinho and Neymar. Look how they play when patterns of play happen. So i.e. when they're getting doubled by 2 man. Ronaldinho, when he's getting doubled by 3 man, he was doing kick-ups. When Neymar had 2 man on him, he's looking to break the lines. You know, when Henry had 2 man on him, he's looking to use his pace, his trickery, his body feints to get past people. Same thing like Messi. And then what you want to do is break down their highlights individually after watching the games. So what you're looking for is the reason behind the actions. Why did they make that pass or the dribble? What were they looking for, etc. And another thing after that is don't just copy. Learn from them, but don't try to be an exact copy. I think when people look at creative players today, they try to be an exact copy, and the problem with that is it will damage your own confidence because you can't be like them. And also, what I would say to that is you need to develop your own style based on the strengths on what works for you. Okay, so when we talk about creative player, that's very important. That leads to that unique style. So you have to be willing to experiment things, try new things, try new moves and combinations, and don't be afraid to fail. And just be true to yourself. Remember, creativity will shine when you play authentically, and don't try and force a style that doesn't come naturally to you. You have to accept that. And I think a lot of players can't accept that. And I'll go in detail on that in another time. So yes, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Obviously, there's a lot of things to break down what I spoke about, but if you could put these into perspective, first of all, you have to challenge your mindset. Am I a creative player naturally? Am I willing to play with boldness, with fearlessness? All this stuff is very important, and let me know.